Hello guys and welcome to the video. I'm going to be talking about Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley 2. This fight took place December 18th, which was last Saturday. It was in Florida. This fight for me was a really bad fight. It was a horrible fight. If I'm being honest with you guys, I didn't like it at all. I saw at first it was a hug fest. The first round was a hug fest, and then the second round I think I gave it to Woodley, and then I gave it to Jake Paul in the third one. It was a I'll hug you, you hug me, and then a few good punches, and then they wrapped around. That made it boring. But what did buy the ticket, what did buy the pay per view, what made it be a somewhat good fight in a way is a KO in round six. That KO paid everything. It paid what the ticket for the people go that I went to go see it. It paid the pay per view. It was a really good KO, and I do not think this fight was rigged. Many people are saying, "Oh, this fight rigged. Oh, they paid Willie to do this." Who wouldn't do? Who would do this? Even for you could pay me what $1 million, I wouldn't do this. $250 million, I wouldn't do this. 50 Rolexes, I wouldn't get knocked out in front of so many people. Me being a pretend, if I was a champion, if I was a champion of the UFC, what was it, 5-time world champion of the UFC, do you think I want to get knocked out by a YouTuber? I know he's a boxer now. I consider him as a boxer now. He's not like super skilled, but he has done so many things now to be considered a boxer. But do you really think you want to get knocked out by a YouTuber? No. I do not think this fight was rigged. Do I see this outcome as something that out of this world? No, I don't. Woodley was always scared by this right hand. When he fought Vicente Luque, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was scared of that right hand because he went in there. He kind of hurt Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque was like, all right, let's do this. He looked like he was hurt. They hit him with the right hand, and boom, he got hurt. It's the same thing. That right hand has always hurt him. And I even said this before. If Jake Paul can fight and give that good right hand, he's gonna hurt Willie because Willie's, I don't know what's wrong with him. Like, not wrong with him, but I understand that this right hand really scares him because he even said it in the press conference. But it was because of what has happened to him. I mean, you're only not traumatized, but you're only scared of stuff because of what happened to you. Yes, I get it. He got dropped already like 2 times. And that fight with Vicente Luque, he got hit over that right hand, and that hurt him. That was it. And put him in a little hole, a little chokehold, and that's it. So I mean, it was a really bad fight, like I said, but that KO helped everything. That KO fixed it. Fights I would like to see in the future with Jake Paul, because right now we're just talking about Jake Paul, is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He did fight the same day. I don't remember the fighter's name, that one he went against, but he looked slow. He looked like he doesn't have it no more. Even when he fought Anderson Silva hurt him. Anderson Silva, man, he destroyed. I think that fight really won when it was Anderson Silva against Junior. So I think even Chavez Jr. would be a good matchup with Jake Paul. And to be honest, if I'm being honest with you, Jake Paul has done so much things. Like, he has banned so much in the world of boxing that I think he could give him a really good fight with Chavez Jr. and possibly, I mean, even win or hurt him. Will it happen? I don't know, because Chavez is also a really good. He's a good boxer. We know that he's a good boxer. Right now, his boxing has gone drastically, really down, and he looks like a really slow fighter. He looks like he's not there no more. He's not the Chavez Jr. that many people thought he could be, like when he fought Sergio Maria Martinez. He's not there no more. So Jake could win. Jake could win this fight easily. Another person is Adrian Broner. I think if he fights Adrian Broner, that fight can be really good too. The weight, like I said, on both, it could be a little difficult for either fighter, like Broner or Chavez Jr. But it could happen. They're both two fighters that sounds kind of rude to say, but they're kind of washed up already. They're not that big. They're not that big of a boxers anymore, but they can still do damage. And if they prepare well and if they do something, they could probably KO Jake Paul, which I know that's what a lot of people want to do. But want to see. But if Jake Paul actually prepares, and these people don't because they take him as a little YouTube fighter, then they could possibly get hurt, and this fight could end really quick. So it all depends. But I think those two fights is what I want to see. Either Chavez Jr. or Adrian Broner. Anderson Silva would be a good fight too, but I don't think Jake Paul would take that risk. We saw what he's done, and he has had two boxing fights, and the man's old, but he can still kick some ass. He's still good. He looks like he's 20 years old, man. I feel like if he would have stayed, but imagine this is what he's doing now. He's like what 40 something. I really don't remember his age. Imagine what he could have done when he was young. Imagine. I think he's 40 years old. I really don't remember, but I think he's like around 40. Imagine what he could do when he was young, just boxing. So I mean, it all depends, like I said. But Jake Paul, seeing this, he has increased. He has done so many things to be considered as a boxer, and I mean, he's pretty good. Yes, he does get tired, but I mean, has what 4 or 5 fights. I mean, he's knocked out every single fighter. I mean, yes, they're not boxers, but he has been in there with people that have done damage to other people. The Nate Robinson fight, I do not consider that like big. The Ben Askren or neither. He's a wrestler. He never boxed in his life. The other one with Gibb, who cares about him? But I mean, he's not a boxer. But this one, I see it more of a, more of a. It was more competitive in a way, even though he went in like, even though they were both like tired in the second one. But then again, they gave him like a little bit. He gave him what, like a week and a half. Was it like a week and a half, 2 weeks that he gave Woodley? So respect for Woodley getting in there and doing this. And but it was overall, and that's all I have to say. I don't think it was a rigged fight. I think it was a great KO. Really bad fight, and it was all hugging and stuff. But I hope his next fight is either Broner or Chavez Jr. or Silva. But I mean, he has options to choose, and I think he's a side on many of these fights that he does. And I mean, people can criticize and tell him whatever he wants, but we're still watching him. Like, I'm still watching him right now. I just said he's not that big of a fighter and stuff, but I'm watching him. I'm buying his fights, you know. So I mean, people can criticize, but they're still watching. So, but hopefully he does something great in 2022, and I would like to see an actual competitive fight. Even though this fight was actually good, but I would like to see a competitive fight. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Please subscribe and comment. And if you want to see more about sports, more about boxing, follow my TikTok. That's where I upload most of my stuff.